everyone. It's so good to see all of you here on Zoom. I'm heading to Jerusalem to tour with you and to see the most beautiful place in the world. Come with me. We're on our way to meet Ohad, Yogi, Yaron and Shani, our brothers. The weather today is beautiful, the traffic is very good. See you there.
Shalom everybody, Ohad here. For those of you who don't know me, I've been running the Experience Project for Brothers for Life for the past couple of years. The whole purpose of this program is to host groups and families, donors, partners from all over the world right here in Israel, showing them the country that we love so dearly, that we fought to protect through the eyes of the Israeli combat soldiers. Unfortunately, these times you guys can't come here to Israel, so we're bringing Israel to you. We have a very special day planned out for you. Right now we're standing on Rechavam Observation Point on Mount Olives, and I'm going to give the mic to Shani Kotev, who is a dear brother of ours and also a professional tour guide. I hope you have a great time. Enjoy.
Shalom to you all, dear friends of Achim L'Chaim, Brothers for Life. This is such a great privilege, such an honor to lead this very special tour today. And indeed, in these days, you cannot come and visit us in Israel, in Jerusalem, but we are making this effort, special effort, for you to be with us on these very special days before Rosh Hashanah, before Yom Kippur. And we're going to start our tour here at the top of Mount of Olives, observing towards the city of Jerusalem. And from this point, we can see both the new city and the old city of Jerusalem. The Mount of Olives is so very extremely holy for both Jews, Christians, and Muslims. We are standing right above the Jewish cemetery of the Mount of Olives, which is the biggest and the most ancient Jewish cemetery in the world. From where we stand right here, we can see just a little bit of this cemetery. It's surrounding the entire mountain, and under our feet, ancient burial tombs, burial caves that will take us back all the way to the days of the first temple. 3,000 years ago, King David established Jewish Jerusalem for the first time, announced Jerusalem of the capital of the Israelites for the first time in history, and his son Solomon built the first temple. The first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians. The people of Israel came back and built the second temple, humble one, simple one comparing to the first temple of Solomon. But a few years after, King Herod came and renovated the temple and built the most beautiful structure in the Roman Empire. And we all remember the very famous saying from the Mishnah, one who didn't see Herod's temple never saw a beautiful structure in his life. The peak of Mount Moriah, the place of the binding, the place of the two temples. The second temple was destroyed as well by the Romans in the year 70 AD. And after the destruction, the people of Israel were spread among the nations, the Galut, and we are coming back home slowly, slowly to Jerusalem, to Israel, till today. There is a very famous midrash, a famous story from the Talmud about the days of after the destruction of the second temple. Rabbi Akiva and some of his followers, his friends, the people who were around him, are sitting here on the peak of Mount of Olives, exactly where we are right now, and they are observing towards the place of the temple. They see the destruction of the second temple. They look at the horrible destruction that the Romans left behind them. And then at some point they see a fox coming out of where the Holy of Holies used to be, the holiest room in the temple, the holiest place in the temple, and wild animals are walking in this area. All the followers start crying. This is terrible. Such a holy place, all destroyed, and wild animals walk through it. They all crying. They look at Rabbi Akiva, and he's laughing. They don't understand. They ask him, Rabbi Akiva, why are you laughing? This is terrible. Don't you remember Kohen Gadol walking inside on the day of Yom Kippur, praying for the people of Israel, and when he comes out, the great joy, look what's happening there now. Fox coming out of Kodesh HaKodeshim, of the Holy of Holies. How come you're laughing? Rabbi Akiva is telling them, my friends, we can all see in front of our eyes the prophecies of Jeremiah, the prophecies of the destruction, and indeed this is terrible. But what I understand now, that if the prophecies of the destruction were fulfilled and happened exactly as written in the Bible, then also the prophecies of the comfort, of the nechama, of the better days will soon come. And the prophecy of the nechama, maybe the most famous one, was written again by Zechariah about the days of salvation, where old men will walk through the streets of Jerusalem with their staff in their hand, walking with great pleasure of old days, and right next to them the kids of Jerusalem will play in the streets of the city. This is the most amazing comfort prophecy that Zechariah gave us in the Bible. And you know, when I think about this prophecy now, standing here in these crazy days that we are all experiencing now in Israel and all over the world, days of lockdown, days of quarantine, days where old people must sit at home to keep themselves safe, days where kids cannot go outside and play as kids should do. And in these very complicated and hard days that we are all being through now, I think about this prophecy and I know that better days will come. I am embracing Rabbi Akiva's approach and attitude, and I take it to our lives. The Brothers for Life is an organization that was established with one main purpose: to take people that their life were destroyed in a way. Something was taken from there. Some physical abilities were taken from them. Some mental problems that occurred because of their injury. And at some point, they feel that everything is gone, that there is no hope. And then come the organization, Achim L'Chaim, and tells them, don't worry, my friend, there is hope. From the destruction, we will build new life. You can laugh. You can be with great joy. You can continue your rehabilitation, because from the destruction, great things can grow, great things can happen. It's amazing to think that till 160 years ago, there was nothing outside the walls of Jerusalem. The city was only inside the walls. Out here, there was nothing but wild animals like Syrian bears and leopards, and even lions were here. You guys remember we are quite near Africa. Until 160 years ago, every day when the sun goes down, the gates of the city are being closed and no one is walking outside here at nights. The people of Jerusalem knew the drill very, very well. It's safe only to be inside the walls. It's safe only when the gates are closed. And 160 years ago approximately, a British philanthropist, Sir Moses Montefiore, saw the Jewish people who are living inside the old city of Jerusalem, living inside the walls, and they were under pretty bad conditions. And he was the first one to understand that Jerusalem must be expanded. We have to get out of the walls. We need to open the gates. And the first Jewish neighborhood that was established outside the walls of Jerusalem was right here, Mishkenot Sha'ananim, by Sir Moses Montefiore and his wife, of course, Judith. There is always a strong lady behind, indeed. And this is the neighborhood that started the process of enlarging Jerusalem, of expanding Jerusalem, till today, when Jerusalem is the biggest city in Israel, both in terms of size and population. We are almost there, almost 1 million people that are living in Jerusalem, and we are waiting just for you, my friends, to come and be here with us. In these special days, these are the days before Yom Kippur, the days when HaMelech Basadeh, God is among us. We can feel it, we can feel the special spirit, and we can feel how the gates are opened. In the last prayer of Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the year, we are saying, Ptach lanu sha'ar be'et ne'ilat sha'ar ki pana yom. We are calling God and telling Him, please, leave the gate open just a little bit more for our prayers, for our dreams, for our hopes, for our wishes, because we know that soon it will be closed till next year. And when we are standing here and we see the walls of Jerusalem and we can see the gates, Jaffa Gate, we remember that the gates are open, that even when things look dark, even when things look not very well, even when we feel like, oh my God, we'll never make it, there is always a sliver of hope. The gate is still open. This is one of the main messages that we are trying to deliver to our members, to ourselves. The gate is still open. There is always a sliver of hope, and we must choose in life. Soon you will virtually visit our home, the Brotherhood home, the house of Achim L'Chaim, and you will see that on the wall of our house, right next to the entrance, there are the two words from the Bible, Uvacharta B'chaim, choose life. These are the days that the gates are open. These are the days that we are choosing life.
מה קורה?
Ronnie.
One of the main things that every Jewish in the world, if it's in Israel or the diaspora, need to deal with in the Yom Kippur is the forgiveness. This is the main thing that features Yom Kippur. We ask for forgiveness from God. We ask for forgiveness for our friends, for our mistakes, for our faults. But I think that there is something very unique about any warrior that injured in the battle. Every warrior that injured in the battlefield looking for forgiveness to himself. I think that every warrior thinking about why I injured and not my friend, why my best friend died and I stayed alive, why I didn't complete my mission. And this is one of the things that we carry with ourselves after we get injured and after the battle. So if I take myself as an example, I injured after when one terrorist infiltrated into Jewish settlements, get into a Jewish house and killed a mother and her daughter. And for years I was thinking about what happened and maybe it's my fault, maybe I didn't do my best. It took me time by doing introspection to understand that if I want to forgive to myself, I need first to understand that I do not have all the abilities to complete the mission. There is something I need to live for God. I just have a limited power. I can't control everything, and I'm just a human being. So this is part of being forgiving to myself. And every Kippur, 1 minute before Kippur start, I'm starting by forgiving to myself before asking for forgiveness from God and from my friends. I wish to our friends in the diaspora all over the world, Happy New Year. I wish to see you all again when we have a new delegation, and to see you in your countries, and we hope to see you here in Israel too after all of this COVID will pass over from the world. Thank you and Gmar Chatima Tova.
Okay guys, follow me. We are about to enter into the Western Wall tunnels. Now in these days, the tunnels are closed to the public, but we got the special permission to enter into the tunnels. And down here, what we can see are the covered parts of the Western Wall. The original length of the Western Wall was almost 500 meters, approximately 2,000 feet. Outside, you see just a small fraction of it at the plaza. But when you go inside, you can find the covered parts of the Western Wall. Parts that were buried under the ground for years, and in archaeological excavations since the 70s, slowly are being revealed. And as we speak right now, the archaeologists keep on digging and finding an amazing evidence to Jewish life in Jerusalem 2,000, even 3,000 years ago. 750 years ago, when the Mamelukes came to Jerusalem, they start building their homes attached to the Western Wall. They saw a beautiful wall from the Roman times, and they said, wow, we can save some time, save some money, and we can just build only 3 walls and use one wall in our home as the Western Wall. And this is how the Western Wall was almost completely covered. The arch above my head is a 750 years old arch from the Mameluke times, and above it, the markets of the Muslim quarter. In this tour, when you go down under the Western Wall, you're going down under those Mamelukian arches. But more than that, under your feet, under the ground, you can find all kinds of findings from the days of the Second Temple. Just recently, right here, parts of the market that was here 2,000 years ago, the market that was used by 250,000 Jews who came on each and every food festival, the Regal, the Shloshet HaRegalim, Pesach, Shavuot and Sukkot. They came from all over the Roman Empire, and they used the market that was right near to where we are to buy whatever they needed before they go up to face the Lord, before they go up to visit at the temple. More than that, ritual baths were founded here. Few of them are the nicest ever been found in the world, where those pilgrims purify themselves, cleanse themselves before going up to the Temple Mount. Very soon from today, we're going to celebrate the fest of Sukkot, the Fest of Tabernacles, and it's going to be very different from how it was celebrated here in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, but still with the same idea of togetherness, of being beyachad, together, all the nation of Israel, hoping and praying for better days.
Shema Israel.
We are now at the Kotel, the Western Wall, the holiest place for Jews on earth. This wall that was built around 2,000 years ago as a supporting wall to the platform that the Second Temple stood on. This wall, the holiest place, Jewish people, no matter where they are around the world, if you are in Seattle or in Boston, in Chicago, in Cape Town, in Sydney, Australia, no matter where you are facing your prayers towards the land of Israel. And when people are praying in Israel, they will always face their prayers to Jerusalem. And when people are in Jerusalem, they are facing their prayers to the Western Wall. And these people that are praying right now at the wall, they are facing their prayers to where Kodesh HaKodashim was, the Holy of Holies, the holiest room in the temple. And every year when the temple was standing, every year the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, would enter into the Holy of Holies. And when the people of Israel saw the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, coming out of Kodesh HaKodashim, of the Holy of Holies, they were all dancing and singing with a great joy. Emet ma nehedar haya Kohen Gadol betzeto mibet kodshei HaKodashim. Such a beautiful thing to see. The priest, the Kohen, comes out, and now everyone knows a new year started. Now it's a new page. All the sins were left behind, and we are all pure, and we can start all over again. I'm so sure that many of you would want to come and be with us today on these days to visit the Western Wall, to visit the Kotel. And you know that normally in the days before Rosh Hashanah, in the days before Yom Kippur, hundreds of thousands of people are coming to visit the Western Wall to pray the special prayers of Selichot. This year, as you can see, things are a little bit different. The wall, the plaza is separated in cells, in capsules, due to COVID-19. But still people are coming. Still people are singing and dancing and celebrating bar and bat mitzvah here at the wall. I'm sure that you all would all want to come and pray with them and dance with them and sing with them. I'm sure that you would all want to come and put a note at the wall. But unfortunately this year you cannot put a note at the wall, but we are here to do it for you. We're going to go down and we're going to give you a minute to close your eyes and to think, what are your deepest hopes, prayers and dreams? And we're going to load this note with all the great, beautiful energies and vibes that you're going to send from wherever you are, from all over the world.